Hi, welcome along to AFTV. Of course, it is the North London derby, the 12th of May, as I was reminded the other day by this man over there, Toby. Don't forget the 12th of May, he said. Well, it's looming, and it is Arsenal going to visit Tottenham in a massive North London derby. So much on it. The winner, really puts himself in a good position to take the top 4 position. But who's it going to be? But in this video, what we thought we'd do is a combined 11 of the two teams, right? So first of all, let me introduce you to the Tottenham side. Of course, we got Toby, well-known Tottenham protagonist.
We're gonna clap. We're gonna.
No.
Come on.
It's courteous.
We got Henry. Sorry, Henry.
Yeah.
Come on.
We can have a slow.
I couldn't resist it, man. Henry, and we got Fuad, right? And on the Arsenal side, we got Julian. Stricto. And of course, needs no introduction. James is in the building. James. Well, listen, we're going to get straight into it. Combined 11, right? It's two teams that obviously are very close. You know what I mean? It shows that they're both battling it out. 4 points. Yeah, but they're both battling it out for that 4th place position. It could be, listen, I'm going to try and stay as neutral as I can here, right? No, for real. And staying as neutral as I can, it could end up either side of North London. It could be on the red side, it could be on the white side. We don't know. We won't know until, well, actually, we'll get a good idea where it's going to end up after the 12th of May. So I thought we'd do a combined 11, right? So let's kick it off, man. Let's start off with...
Not Lloris.
Goalkeeper.
Lloris. In a heartbeat. Not even a debate. I think Ramsdale before the January transfer window, before that, I think he was exceptional. I think he's been a bit sus for the last few months. And I think like Hugo, with our defence isn't the best. I feel like he always keeps us in games relentlessly. And I feel like I will say one thing, his distribution with his feet under Conte has gone up levels as well. That was one of his weakest attributes. But for me, it's Hugo. Not even a debate.
He's an average goalkeeper playing above himself, and he's liable to put one in his own net, and hopefully that'll be Thursday.
Average.
But are we not talking about right now? As you said, he's playing above his level.
He is playing
you're
above his
maybe
level.
judging it off kind of what the last few years have been. But I've actually been one of Lloris's biggest critics.
Yeah,
and
I was listening to you before we went on air, and that's where I got my information from.
Listen, false information.
Come on, man.
I feel like this year he's definitely improved his performances and been one of the reasons we've actually stayed in games. So Ramsdale, similarly, I think he started off hot, but last couple of months I feel like he's been kind of hot and cold.
Performances, he's made some
But
big errors.
the same reason when you put Lloris as, you've chosen Lloris is the same reason I'm going to choose Ramsdale. If you look at the whole season, part of the reason why we are where we are is due to Ramsdale's performances. I think about the free kick against Leicester away.
One of the great saves
know,
I've ever seen.
He loves the camera save. We know that.
You can't help it. He's a,
But you look at consistency. Hugo's been consistent throughout the entire season. Ramsdale, before January, I would put him up there with Alisson and Ederson performances. Since then, he's been sus. He hasn't. He's got big errors. The West Ham.
What big errors?
A lot. Was it the West Ham game? Was it Jared, the Bowen? The Bowen.
He got away with that.
It was a deflection.
No, they mean the Bowen high foot.
Yeah, like that's a red card all day long.
Yeah, but it was offside. It's not error.
But he didn't even take
It's
it
not
out.
error.
If you're coming out and 2-footing someone, you don't get the ball.
But it's not error because it's not.
He missed him. It wasn't even a foul.
What other time? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can I ask a genuine question?
There's been
I like Lloris a lot. I think Ramsdale, I agree. I think his performance, and I've been one of the first to call them out. They've dropped the last couple of months. But if you're talking attributes, and I think Lloris is a top shot stopper, and if he's improved his feet, great. But as a complete all-round goalkeeper, I think Ramsdale probably commands his box a bit better. I think he's got better long and short range distribution. Shot stopping, sure, I'll probably give it to Lloris, but I don't really know attributes-wise what Lloris is like. It might be better in some way, but like head and shoulders better than Ramsdale.
Shot stopping is one.
He's better leader.
Coming off his
1v1.
Coming off his line is another one. Saving penalties is another one. So that's 3 I've given you there.
Saving
For me, I
Save
don't
the penalty
Save the penalty
Derby,
against Jude,
last
save the
minute.
penalty against Aguero, save the penalty against Vardy.
Yeah.
And
Trying to think of any Rams.
This season, though, we're talking season.
This season he's
right?
been
Because the Ramsdale's coming this season. So based off of this season, which one of those two keepers would you say has been better? Because Ramsdale, there's a lot of talk, from a lot of
Ramsdale's been excellent for you.
a lot of fans. Hold on, a lot of fans throughout the Premier League are saying that Ramsdale should actually be the starting goalkeeper for England.
Here's the thing, I hear the Ramsdale praise, but you've got to remember he's playing a solid defence in front of him as well. That's improved a lot. And I think that's the difference between the two is Lloris, the defence in front of him has been a mishmash all season. It's been very poor, very leaky. And without Conte's tactics to plaster over that and his performances, I don't think our defensive record would have been as good. Ramsdale has been aided by, you've actually got a solid centre-back pairing. You've actually got full-backs that are competent at defending. We don't have those luxuries in one. So I think that has also...
We're constantly changing things.
Okay, but you're also forgetting that Ramsdale's come from... He's been relegated twice. We signed him. I don't think most of the fans wanted us.
3 times.
Is it 3 times?
Yeah.
Did he play for you, look?
We ain't been relegated.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like he came up under a lot of like scrutiny.
Yep, rightly so.
And he's come and he's proved himself. Like even I think before January, people would have said like without Luis Diaz of Liverpool, he would have been signing of the season.
He's still one of the signings of the season based on these performances, but we're talking about him in comparison to Hugo Lloris. I think Lloris had his usual sort of 2 or 3 game frenzy of madness back in January. But outside of that, this guy has actually been consistent for Spurs. I think Lloris, he really gets beaten with this stick that, he's so error prone, he makes so many mistakes. Lloris has saved our bacon so many times this season.
Yeah.
And the areas of improvement that we wanted to see from Lloris, we've seen some improvements. Henry's spoken about his distribution. Okay, he can't spray a ball like
Edison.
Ramsdale is actually a really good. I must admit, I didn't notice how good of a passer he was until I seen him at Arsenal. He's a really good passer of the ball with both feet. But Lloris has improved in that aspect for Spurs, and for the most part, he has been probably one of the most reliable players we've had this season. We did a halfway checkpoint at the season, and Hugo Lloris was in most people's top 3 performers because he's been consistent for Spurs. But of course, because it's Lloris, he gets beat. You know what I mean? He gets beaten with that same stick.
It don't look like we're going to get an agreement on this one.
Let the people vote.
Who has more clean sheets and who's conceded less goals?
I actually don't know. Do you know?
No,
You're asking because it is Lloris.
I only got my phone.
All right, we're not going to get an agreement on this one, so we're going to throw it out
So
there.
the data says Hugo's been a better goalkeeper with a worse defence.
It was only a couple of weeks ago Ramsdale was second to Jose Sarr in terms of goals prevented, but I never really read into all that too much. Like,
All right, we're going to throw it out there because we're not going to get an agreement on this. The red side is definitely saying Ramsdale, white side are going for Hugo Lloris. What do you guys think? Let's get into the fullbacks now.
That's going to
right?
be easy. We'll have that.
So are we talking about who's fit then?
We're talking about who's fit right now.
Okay.
Yeah?
Well then,
So we'll start off right back.
Yeah, take it.
Yeah.
Tommy Asu.
We've got to get Tommy Asu.
We had first dibs on that man.
Yeah.
Let's not forget.
And who did you choose?
We turned him down to pay double for Emerson. Listen, good game against Luis Diaz, but my God, we got that one wrong. Definitely.
Okay, so we're going Tommy Asu.
Yeah. No debate.
Right, so on the left-hand side,
So we're not including Tierney in this.
No, he's not available for the game.
If you're not including Tierney, then it's
I
probably
think we
regular.
have to go. What we're going to do, we're going to go after who's available for the game.
So we
Right,
got
so
Tavares.
Tierney's
that's
not.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Tierney, I think Tierney would have been in there. So
Oh, we actually go. That's what we're
So
doing.
we got
who's
Tavares.
available for the game? We'll do
So we
that.
got Tavares or
I think that's the
That
fairest
makes
way
it a
to
lot
do it.
tougher. That makes it a
So
lot
it's
tougher.
Nuno Tavares or
Sessegnon's the one
Sessegnon.
available.
I'll give it to Tavares.
Tavares. Yeah.
Wow.
Is he that bad, Sessegnon?
He's had. Go on.
I haven't seen the levels of performances we've expected. People always said he needed a run in the side. I feel like he's had that run in the side, and neither side of his game convinced me, whether that's defending or going forward and having an end product. I just don't think he's going to be the caliber of player that we thought we were buying the potential for.
What I will say though is he's had his best performances. His best performances this season outside of Leeds
Liverpool
has come against the top 2. So defensively he did really well against Man City in the away fixture, and then did well both times against Liverpool defensively this season. But with Cess, he's just not confident on the ball.
He gets into the right positions a lot.
I think Tavares is way more error prone than Cess. I think Tavares has had shockers. I don't think I've seen Cess have many shocking glaring mistakes, but Tavares has actually contributed offensively. Where Cess,
we could have Cedric there.
Cess is very underwhelming. That's the best.
No,
way
we'll go with Tavares. We'll go with the left side.
Arsenal fans won't thank me saying this, but isn't Ben Davies playing quite well for you guys?
He's playing left centre back.
left
He's not
centre-back.
playing left back.
All right, fair enough.
So we're gonna go Tavares then. So that's let's go now. Let's get interesting. The centre back pairing, right?
Pairing.
I'm here to bargain.
You know, centre back pairing. So you've got
I'm here to
Romero
negotiate.
and Dyer.
That's the first name on the sheet.
And you've got
Gabriel.
we've got right. But I'm trying to say
White.
neutral. Gabriel and Ben White.
I'm here to
Romero
bargain.
is the first
Can I
defender
just-
in that
yeah.
pairing.
Can we just
The
put
first
that-
defender in that.
Right, if we're
but
going
it's a
to
pairing.
take, because the likelihood is you're going to take one of each.
All right. So
Right.
what, Romero's right sided, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
he
So let's
hasn't
say
switched up, but
is
yeah.
it Romero or Ben White?
Romero. Not even, Ben White's not even getting played over Holding, is he not?
No, he's injured.
Oh, right, fair enough. But
Yeah.
I'd still Romero.
Ben White, listen, Ben White, we don't have to do that. Ben White has actually been really good for Arsenal this season. I'll admit that. But
Yeah, he has.
Romero is a cut above. Like, you literally watch it. Whenever you watch both play, you can clearly see who the better player is.
Is he a better ball player or is he a defender?
Here's the
I think
thing,
he's just a better overall.
He's a better package.
I think Romero's a better pure defender, which is, I think nowadays there's far too much focus on centre backs on their ball playing
I'd have to
ability.
agree with you on that.
Ben White, I feel like, is a better ball playing defender, but I think out of the two, if I had to pick one to fill the position, I'm picking Romero each and every time because Romero's ball playing ability isn't far off Ben White.
Yeah.
But the primary stuff that you're supposed to do, get on your man, tackling, winning your duels, aerially dominant.
Is he good aerially?
He's
dominant.
rash at times, but it's rare that he goes into tackle and doesn't come out with the ball.
I respect
It's
you
very
guys
rare.
giving Ben White the credit he deserves, though, because sometimes after that Brentford game, it was kind of the guy can't head the ball, and actually his problems haven't been in the air. It's been lunging into challenges too quickly, and Ben White I think has added something to our game that we desperately needed. You can see Arteta really focused on that with him and Ramsdale, but Romero is a
All right.
class.
So I've got Romero. What about left-sided?
Gabriel.
Gabriel or Dyer?
That's Gabriel.
Here's the thing. I will take Gabriel because I think he's similarly, he does what for Arsenal what Romero does for us. He's the destroyer of the two centre backs. But I think Dyer as well this season has had
Stepped
a brilliant
up.
season massively. Previously, he's always had them error-prone issues. Kind of, does he have the right partner next time? I think Romero's helped him firm his game up, but I would say Gabriel stands.
I think it's the other way around, you know. I think Dyer has helped facilitate Romero. I think from a communication perspective, because he speaks multiple languages as well, he's actually really helped bed in
That's
some
a
of
shout,
those players.
actually, yeah.
And
He's
in our,
fluent in Spanish
in our
and
team in the back five, it's weird. I found myself giving him all this credit after the Man City game, but Eric Dyer actually, it's weird. Eric Dyer actually leads, and it's crazy to say that because Dyer is Eric Dyer, but he's actually been really good for Spurs. But
He's actually
that
been-
being said, I think Gabriel is
I
a better,
think that's
he's a better
true.
centre back.
So we've got Gabriel and Romero. Right. Let's move to the midfield now. Right. So midfield.
So did Tavares really make left back?
Yeah.
We've got Ryan.
Unfortunately,
We've got Ryan.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So midfield.
Thursday now.
Midfield. Right. So midfield.
You're right.
Sort of
should
that
have said
holding
that.
midfielder, right? So again, I'm going for players that are fit, right, and who can play in this game, right? So I guess that's Højbjerg or El Neni.
I die with Mohamed El Neni.
Yeah.
I die on that hill. El Neni, bro.
You see,
Højbjerg
It's close on that one.
Højbjerg has been really good since Bentancur.
He's having a bit of a
come to the
poor
team.
season.
He
wasn't
was. He is. But I'm saying since Bentancur's coming to the team, Højbjerg has actually stepped up in performances. I'm not saying he's had a good season, but in the
Who
last
is
few
it?
months,
If you look at the current form of El Neni, you'd put him in. If you're looking purely on current form, I'd put him in. I mean, I look at Højbjerg. He's an average, good. He's nothing special, and he hasn't been for the whole season. He's exactly the same, but he's playing above himself at the moment. He's only had a few games in the team. He's been fantastic. He's an average player playing really well. And the same reasons you were looking at having Lloris in, who's an average goalkeeper
Lloris is an average goalkeeper.
playing above himself.
Lloris is an average goalkeeper.
you can't do taking out Lloris because he's playing above himself and then putting in
Well,
El
no,
Neni
can we
because
stop
he's playing above
saying-
himself.
can we stop saying-
You have to have
Can we
El
stop
Neni.
saying
You've
it's
got
Lloris playing above
If
himself?
you're arguing with
Lloris has never been an
Lloris-
average goalkeeper. Let's
The
stop
thing I say about Højbjerg,
let's stop the disrespect.
the thing about Højbjerg,
Yeah.
regardless if it's Mourinho, Nuno or Conte, they've all played him in there because he's a workhorse.
Yeah,
And
he's
he does
an
the dirty
average
work.
workhorse.
But
El Neni's a workhorse.
But I think Højbjerg has more to his game than Neni. He's a
No,
better
well,
leader.
like-
He grafts more. I feel like
No,
he's
he doesn't.
when he plays
No,
for-
wait,
when he
no,
plays
no,
for
wait,
Denmark,
it's
when
similar.
he plays for
It's
Denmark,
similar.
he has a lot more time. He's
And then
better
he
on
plays
the
for
ball.
Egypt.
Yeah, he plays for Egypt.
What does that mean?
You know, he can't.
No, what does it mean? What's that mean? Wenger said, every team needs a player like El Neni, a silent leader, someone who doesn't get the credit, someone that doesn't get the credit.
And Højbjerg's similar, just not quite as
I'm
good.
sorry. Listen,
much better than El Neni.
Arsenal fans have been cussing El Neni for the best part of 2-3 years.
this
Now
guy.
he goes on a little 4-5 game.
Not this guy.
You know
Not
what?
this guy.
Maybe you.
Not this guy.
But now he's going on a 4 little 5 game. We're doing up revisionism. No.
I'm sorry.
Ability-wise, Højbjerg is
say
better.
that
And second half of the
Højbjerg is actually
season,
better than-
Højbjerg ability-wise is better. And second half of the season, Højbjerg for me has shown he can get back to the levels he was at last season with
why
the
doesn't he get
partnership with
played?
Because
Bentancur.
we've had better players.
Because we've got
Precisely.
Partey who's that much
He's getting
better.
played throughout the entire season.
But that doesn't. Just
Because
because
you
he's
haven't got
getting
anyone
played.
better.
Exactly.
Because your squad's not as good as ours.
Exactly.
We had
That's
Skip, we had
reality.
Bentancur. They would easily get in.
Fact.
But
Can
you
I
still got
offer
it.
another alternative that actually Bentancur?
We come in for that, don't worry.
Yeah,
That's
He gonna be involved as well.
Why if we build a combined 11, why does it have to be?
Well, hold on,
Why
wait.
does it have to be El Neni Højbjerg when Xhaka
Because
and
I said so.
Bentancur?
I said so, that's why. It's El Neni,
Laying the
it's
smack
El
down.
Neni. And
But
stop
Xhaka
trying
and Bentancur
stop trying to switch it
start.
around. We're going to
Surely.
get to that in a minute. But the more deeper holding player is El Neni, and the more deeper holding
other
player
two
for
can play
them
there.
is Højbjerg, isn't it? So those are the two, right? So you're overruled, right? Which one are we going for?
El Neni.
El Neni.
Let's put a little.
or El
Let's be
Neni.
a little bit objective here.
I was on present form because you can't,
Yes,
you
you can't
cannot
go
base El Neni on
the
the whole
season,
season because he hasn't
'cause I
played the whole
played, exactly.
season. So you can only base
Whose
him on the
fault was
last
that?
few
Yeah, but
games.
precise
and he's been
facts.
Whose
tremendous.
fault was that?
And El Neni's more dynamic.
So he's had a few good
Believe
months.
it- No, but
He's had a
hold
few
on,
good
he's a-
games.
Listen.
So that's all we can base
Do you
him
know
on.
one of
El
his?
Neni dynamic.
Do you know one of his most
Them two
underrated
words don't
qualities?
belong together.
You know one of his most underrated qualities. He actually can find a pass forward.
What? Because he did
That
that.
West Ham-
Because he did
that
that
West
one
Ham
pass.
game- the
That
West
one
Ham
pass
game-
to Nketiah.
The West Ham game. Hold on.
So can
Hold on, wait. The Champions League game, yeah. The Champions League game we played against. No, the one where Ozil flipped it over the
So
guy's
like
head.
6 years ago.
Hold on, wait.
We're talking now.
Hold on.
We're
Who
talking now.
split the defense? Oh, Neni. But
Højbjerg
he's so
had-
underrated.
but
But
we're talking
Let's keep it up to date.
No, no,
Keep it
no.
now.
But he doesn't play regularly, so how do you go by?
He's
Højbjerg
had
has
three
done-
basic.
Højbjerg has
We've got
Right. Who gets it?
El Neni.
Højbjerg. He's played
El Neni.
3 good months.
All right, listen, we're going to have to throw this one out there. El
Of course they're
Neni.
gonna vote
El
El
Neni.
Neni.
No, because I can't get you guys so great.
James, what are you saying,
Unless
James?
you're giving me the.
Listen,
Bentancur.
just
All right, I'll
stack
tell you
this.
what. I'll tell
Just
you how
stack
we
this
do
as
it.
Arsenal's
You're gonna
combined
go.
11
I'll
and
tell
get
you
it
how we
over
do
with.
it, right? I'll be that final person
go.
on the thing, right?
Get tired to be.
And I'm going to try. I'm going to try and be fair on this, right?
I'm gonna try and be fair.
I'm going to try and be fair on this. I'll try.
You can only try, Robbie.
On
You can only try.
Højbjerg, I think last year he was one of your best players. But this season, I think recently, yes, he's been playing a lot better. But this season, he ain't been good. He hasn't been good. You guys got to admit, he's not been great.
But no one said he's been
Hold
good.
on,
the
let me
whole
finish.
season.
On El Neni, right, he hasn't been playing because obviously Thomas Partey is the starter, so he can't get in above him. But what I would say, when he's come in, if Arsenal were to get into the top 4, he'd be one of the big reasons why they've done that, because
that's a fact.
he's come in and his performances, even though there's not been as many, his performances have been brilliant.
In that
It surprised
position.
me.
In
I
that
mean,
position.
so
We're talking 3 good months
if I'm going off of out of the 2 players, who's better, I'd probably have to say Højbjerg. If I'm going off of I'm picking my team right now for this game, I'd have to go with El Neni. Is that fair?
Big Mo.
No.
I think that's
Big
very
Mo.
fair. Very
It
fair.
doesn't matter what we think.
That's
He
just
didn't actually pick
that's
El
just me.
Neni.
That's just me
He didn't
saying.
actually pick El Neni.
Who would you
So
pick?
He hasn't picked yet.
who've you picked him?
He said he wanted Bentancur there. He didn't.
No, El Neni or Højbjerg.
For the record, I'd have dumped them both and gone Bentancur and Xhaka. But on current form,
Don't even
Don't
do
do
that.
that, James. You're better than that. You're better than that.
You're not better than
I've
that.
got to back my boy. I've got El
Listen,
Neni.
we're
I'll
throwing it
go
out.
El Neni.
Listen, I've tried, right? You know what it
You didn't
is,
try.
right?
You know what you did.
You know what it is,
You know
right?
what
It's
you
very
did.
hard to split the 2. I'm not even lying.
know
That's
what
credit
you
to
did.
El Neni.
I can't-
That's credit to El Neni.
That's
The way in which he's playing at the moment, I
need to
can't
get you an
just
El Neni shirt.
definitively say, you know.
Yeah, I know that.
So I'm going to leave this one to you guys. The next position in that midfield is what you just said there, Xhaka or Bentancur.
Boy, oh boy.
It's another
They should
tough
be
one.
playing together.
It ain't that tough for me because Bentancur has easily been up there with one of the January signings of the season, in my opinion, since he's come in. He's actually
yeah.
improved that team. You can see the impact he's had. Technically, very sound. Can play a pass. is dynamic, can defend very well as well, still quick, good dribbler as well. I can't say all those things about Xhaka. I feel like Xhaka, the last couple of months or so, definitely improved. But over the whole season, maybe Bentancur, you could say he wasn't here at the first
Since he dropped that video.
But what he's done since he's come in, for me, definitely gets a shoe into this team. Some way, somehow.
When Xhaka dropped that video about talking about we wanted to be future captain.
Still doesn't like Arsenal fans.
Yes. Then his performances went up. Before then, I mean...
No, I'll be.
I mean, yeah, he's picked up his performances recently, but since January, I'm going Bentancur.
I'll be real. I'll be real. Granit Xhaka has been really good for Arsenal the past couple of months. I think he has been. But I just think Bentancur, the impact he's had in our team, at times can go unnoticed. Our midfield is not good. And he's come into that team and he's not even the perfect midfielder himself, because we're still saying that we want a midfielder better than Bentancur next to him. But he's given us a lot of the things that we've been lacking. On the ball, he's been finding the right passes into the final third. Off the ball, he's so tenacious. He doesn't stop working. Even in games where he's not playing well. You watched the Liverpool game on Saturday. He didn't play well. But defensively, he always gives us what he gives us. And then the dynamism, it's not even a competition. I'm looking at it now. Granit Xhaka's been in, again, good form for Arsenal. But the passing and the striking aspects is where I'll let him have his dues over Bentancur. Everything else, Bentancur does better.
When
when
Spurs bought Bentancur in January, I was quite worried about it because this guy had such immense potential at Juventus. For whatever reason, it didn't quite work. And I think he's turned them around. Him and Kulusevski have been massive for them. And I agree. I think he's a more complete midfielder. He's got more to his game. I think Granit Xhaka has been really excellent for Arsenal, and I don't think it's just the last couple of months. I think actually. The thing is there's always a red card to talk about instead. That's the problem. But under Arteta, he's generally been very dependable. He doesn't get overrun in midfield like he used to. And I've really enjoyed him a lot. But I do like Bentancur.
I think I'll go for Bentancur. I think Xhaka has improved his game. And Xhaka improving his game basically means he's cutting out defensive errors, like those short passes, those needless yellow cards that lead to red cards. He's cut those out. But I think overall, if you look at like Xhaka's play, he's not the most athletic player. Sometimes he gets caught out of position. Bentancur, is more flexible, can get about more. So I'll give it to Bentancur.
He's just got more about him. I think.
Well, I think if Xhaka stays on the field for the whole 90 minutes, I'd go with Xhaka. But my fear is he won't, and that's always. I mean, even the last few games, there's been hints of a Xhaka moment.
Yeah, that's true.
And I find it very difficult to have long-term faith in this guy for exactly those reasons. I remember when he got sent off the first time. I think it was against Burnley, and Wenger came out and said, "An intelligent player, he is an intelligent player, will learn from those experiences." Well, he hasn't learned, so that
he hasn't been sent off for a while, has he?
Was it City the last one?
That was January, wasn't it?
There's always that, that's...
He's been one of Arsenal's...
Yes.
I'm listening to you guys talk and I'm wondering...
Yeah, I think you're not even being harsh on that.
If you've actually been watching Arsenal, I actually say...
I think you're not being mad harsh on that. I think he's been excellent for
Arsenal's best players this season.
Yeah, I said he's been excellent.
Not this season, since
I'm actually going to say that...
Because he was injured for like 3 months.
I'm actually going to say Granit Xhaka has been one of Arsenal's most consistent players this season. When he was out of that midfield, when he was injured, you saw the difference. So, but
if he stays,
it's down to you. So to speed things up. So you're going Bentancur as well.
I'll go for it.
Right. So all right. You don't need to explain no more.
Go.
So Bentancur. So it's Bentancur. He's Bentancur.
Because it's Xhaka.
It's Bentancur.
It's not because
it's Bentancur. You can admit it. You've given it to Bentancur.
He doesn't want to say it. Absolutely.
By default.
No defaults. It's Bentancur. Right.
You should have gone for James's combination.
Right. Let's now move into sort of more creative. And Odegaard. Hold on, who would it be for you guys?
I'd put Kulu there. We don't have a 10, but I'd say Kulu. Because Kane was going to be
Relax, big man. No.
So then we'll have Odegaard.
We'll slide in Odegaard. We'll slide in Odegaard. I'm happy. I think he's actually been very quality.
He's had less big creative chances.
So who am I comparing him to though?
But like,
who am I comparing him to?
Nobody.
This Odegaard.
We don't have
No, hold on, wait a minute. Just before you say that, who am I comparing him to?
We don't have a pure 10 anymore, so
we got rid of Ndombele and Lo Celso, who were the two players in that position, and we said they're clearly not offering an underwhelming.
Unless you want Harry Kane there, and we know.
Nah.
Exactly.
We sold all three of our.
One of the craziest spots we got is Kulusevski. He plays on the right. That's what I'm saying.
So let's not play him out of position. For me, I think Odegaard actually has earned that position. He's one of. I feel like the number 10 role has died. Let's be honest in football, and he's been one of the few key.
This Odegaard stuff, right? About he's been this creative spot. He's had less big creative chances than Kyle Walker-Peters.
Come on, man.
Like,
you're watching the games.
No, I am watching the games. I rate Odegaard, but he's not this. He's unbelievable number 10.
Bro,
he's not.
Stat match. You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not even a stat
You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying.
You just don't know what you're talking about. What you just said.
So, okay, how many top 6 teams besides Arsenal does he start for?
All of them. He starts at Spurs. All of them. He starts at United. He starts at Chelsea. He starts at all these.
He starts at Chelsea.
What 10 do they have better than him?
Combined Spurs, Arsenal.
What 10 do they have better than him?
I play him at 10. He's better than him.
He's not really a Mason Mount is.
It's irrelevant. It's a Spurs Arsenal combined 11.
To give Henry some credit, I know he doesn't put it on a plate for Arsenal players 5 times a game, but it's the
work
pass
around,
before the pass, it's everything.
the
It's the 1-2 part of that
but he's not
open up the game.
He's But no one says he's unbelievable.
We should be comparing him to
No one
Harry
says
Kane.
he's unbelievable.
He's
He's
been
just
your
very
creative
good.
guy, isn't it? Really, from Saka.
If you're comparing to,
He has been like.
if you're comparing it to Harry Kane, then it's one winner, bro.
We have a chance here.
It's one winner, bro.
It's like, you know,
If you're comparing him to
because he
Harry
has been
Kane,
the
it's one
guy.
winner.
He has been the creative spot for Tottenham. But anyway,
This to us.
we'll go with Odegaard. Let's go to the
Saka?
front. Let's go to the front three. Right. So the front three.
Emil.
No.
Well, so let's start with centre forwards.
Kane.
Yeah,
Easy. No, let's do the front three. Let's do the front three that scored. Let's do the front three that scored the most goals in 2022.
Well, he's in the front three.
Son, Kane, Kulu.
Right, so he's in the front three. So
Yeah, so I said let's do the front three
As a
that
package.
scored the most goals.
Listen, I set the rules around here. Right, so centre forwards. The centre forwards. So you've gone with Harry Kane.
Yeah.
I think that's
There's no debate.
There's no debate.
On the left,
I want to let them make their case.
If you have Nketiah, you at least have some speed up front.
Bore
He scored 3 goals this
with the
season.
speed.
He's got speed.
Bore
and
off
Kane
with the
doesn't.
speed, please. I don't care.
Eddie.
Games. Kane's game is
You'll
not
know his
based
name
on
on
pace.
Thursday, don't
Bore
worry.
off with this speed thing. We've been hearing it for years. He's got no pace, and yet he still bangs in goals season in, season out.
He's a
And
great
wins fuck all.
player.
And wins fuck all. And win fuck all.
Spare me with his pace.
Wins fuck all them goals, bro.
But we talking about.
And win fuck all.
But we talking about.
He'll win at City.
We're talking about individual players, though. So let's just keep it.
Right, so
Harry
Harry Kane, right?
Yes.
Left side.
Easy again. The second top goal scorer this season.
The most
Easy
goals
again.
in play in the league. The
Easy.
third highest winger in Europe besides Mbappe.
Don't even dare say Martinelli.
No debate.
Don't even dare say ESR.
All I'm saying is, all of these things that you lot bringing up,
just take it.
that just built to nothing, bro.
We're talking about players. We're talking about players.
Wait a minute. We all agreed Son.
No.
Are you not?
No.
What are you saying?
Let's say Martinelli in it. After the performance he had on Sunday.
One game.
No, that's the most recent game. That is in my head.
my days.
24 hours ago.
Son scored against Liverpool.
He might
Martinelli.
have scored, but the
Martinelli.
performance I saw from that guy, he was
Martinelli.
unplayable.
Son's been unplayable for 3 years.
Talk that shit, Julian. Talk that shit, Julian.
Champions League campaign, he turns into Michael Jordan, puts the whole team on his back at Man City home and away.
About present form.
We've got a genuine one to
He
find.
scored 20 goals this season. Present form.
I would have
This cannot be seen.
Hold on.
You're lying to yourself if you said you'd rather have
I am
Martinelli against
overruling
team.
here. He's Son.
Crazy. You're crazy. I'm sorry.
He's Son. I overrule. Like this position now is interesting.
This one is his.
I
This is
love
The
you.
right hand
I
side.
love you.
I'll tell you one thing.
Saka
He's been brilliant. Saka.
Yes.
or Kula.
Kulusevski. Get it right, bro. Let's get it right. You can pronounce. This guy can pronounce Mavropanos, but you can't pronounce Kulusevski.
You said that.
Get it right, bro.
wrong.
Nkulu.
Show some respect.
No, Kulusevski.
Not only January
Right.
signing of the season, one of the signings of the season.
Facts.
What he's brought to that right-hand side, 14
He's
games,
been better
8
than Diaz this
assists.
season.
Yeah, in the league, he's
In 14
miles
games,
better.
he's managed to get himself in that top 5 assists. That's not easy. The creativeness he's brought, the technical ability, everything we've wanted from Mora, Lamella, Bergwijn, all of these years, this guy's managed to do it in a matter of
Lucas.
6 months. I think he's actually one of
I think.
the 21 as well. Potential to be one of the best
Yeah.
wingers for a long time in this league.
22 now.
And Saka, listen, just turned. Last week.
just turned,
Ah,
yeah.
Relax. But Saka done well this season, especially off the back of
Done
how.
well.
He's playing it
especially how
down.
disappointed-
I can't sit here and watch you. I hear you playing this
Let
down.
me talk up my boy, He's done well, but I feel like the impact Kulu's had, I don't think I could say Saka's had that.
You see the problem, yeah? You see,
Arsenal
that's the problem, yeah? Saka's level is so high, and this is why you're speaking like this. It's become normal to expect this from Saka. So you're actually playing down what Saka's done this season.
No, he's done well. He's scored a couple of more goals than he normally would, and I feel like anytime you put
And
the
you talked
numbers
about
up,
age. You talk about age. Saka's what, 19, 20?
20.
Yeah, but
You've got
Kulu's
the-
come
you've
to
got
a
the
new
young-
team, new league, and had such a big impact on
No,
the team.
I'm not
And the
taking
thing
away.
is,
I'm not
that's
taking
what
away his impact.
We had our Sharvin to say it's similar, and then they tail off. 6 months means nothing.
Arshavin was
It's
20.
good-
Arshavin
good
was like a
potential.
grown man.
He come in as a 21-year-old.
He became
This
so
is a kid.
quickly.
I can't believe you're bashing your own
But he's
player.
not even a Tottenham player. He's not even a Tottenham player.
Arshavin came into your
But
team
he's
and
not even a Tottenham
literally
player.
still top 4 for
Did
you.
brilliantly for a
I can't believe that.
time.
The man's bashed his Arsenal next season. You bashed your game next season.
I really like
Kulusevski,
Kulusevski.
can't.
Why?
No, we've agreed we're going to pay the 38 million
Hold on,
euros.
hold on.
Yeah, I can't. I've given Tottenham players a lot of credit. I can't overlook Saka because the thing I like about Saka is there's so much. It's not just he can beat a man, but that's not really the thing about his game that impresses me. He can go right foot, left foot. Like you don't know which way he's going to go because he's as accurate with both. He's got that tenacity. He kind of gets kicked 5, 6, 7 times a game. He's always up. He wins his headers. He's such a thorn in the side. And Arsenal as an attacking unit haven't been great this year. Like a lot of it's been based on a decent midfield and defence and all right foundations and doing enough to win games. But without a proper goal scorer in front of him, even Tomiyasu, it's not like he overlaps and helps him loads. I just think Saka's done so well. And yeah, he built a good thing with Odegaard. But I think so much of the good work he does is his own work. It's very rarely relied on.
I agree.
Odegaard's made it happen. A great centre forward's played him in. He's having to do it for himself. And that is the only thing I'd give him over Kulusevski and why I just place him just above. But I love Kulu.
I think it's a tough one. It's a tough one because like you cannot overstate the impact or you can't underestimate the impact Kulusevski's had on our team. Like it's been massive. Like some of those things you mentioned about Saka, we've got in Kulusevski now a player who can come in on his left foot but can also use his right. We've got a player who doesn't stop working. He's a tireless player. We've got a player who can shoot. We've got a player who can pass. And we've got a player who can literally combine well with anyone. Combines well with Kane, combines well with Matt Doherty, combines well with Bentancur. He combines with anyone. And he's stepped up in big moments for us this season as well. So it's a difficult one. But I'll say this, Fuad and Henry might not agree, but I won't even be mad at Saka because I actually think I won't even be mad at selecting Saka because I think
Nigerian within
I think he's done honestly
Nigerian within you.
I think he's done a carry job. I think he's done a carry job on their attack this
Emma
season.
Smith-Rowe's goals, daggers off the bench.
Saka's been better than Emma Smith-Rowe, let's be real. He's been better.
The boys have been contributing a lot, man.
He's been carrying.
It ain't been a Saka carry job. Let's not overblow it.
I think he has for the season.
Let's not
I think
overblow
he
it.
has.
I think this is another
Saka.
one that's going to get thrown out to the
I
floor.
think Saka's better.
I mean, if it was me, I think if it was me,
If Kulu had next season we'll talk. This season I can't really go against Saka.
I think Kulusevski's coming, he's been brilliant.
He's sick.
But I look on it and I say to myself, Saka has been, Arsenal's probably, I said Jack has been one of the, I think without doubt, Arsenal's best player this season has been Saka. He's been consistently good. He's only 20. You know, he's scored goals, he's assists, everything about him. He's been unbelievable.
He's had big moments too. You think the North London derby goal, the penalty.
Oh, the jammy goal, the scruffy goal.
Sure,
Okay.
but but he
Against
scored.
United
Listen,
as
they
well.
all count.
They do, you're right, they do.
You know, he scored against Chelsea.
They do. He scored those penalties. Why didn't he score them against?
What was it? The fourth penalty?
Hey, you're talking to an Italian here, so I'm not too bothered. But
Anyway, listen, because I'd go Saka, but I would, so I'm going to throw it out to you guys again, right? So
We were
this is
decided on Saka because Tobs said Saka.
Okay, all right, so Saka.
Thank you.
All right. Right, so let's just review what we've got. In goal, we got a dispute with Ramsdale and Lloris, so we need you guys to settle that. The two fullbacks, we've gone for Tomiyasu and Nuno Tavares. I was a bit surprised at that.
I was surprised.
Nuno Tavares. Centre backs, we've gone Romero and Gabriel. Midfield, we've got another dispute with El Neni. We got
Højbjerg.
No, we decided on El Neni, didn't we?
No,
El Neni and Højbjerg.
Robbie said
El
El Neni and Højbjerg, we've got a
no.
dispute. We've got Bentancur in, right?
yes, yeah.
We've got Odegaard in,
Yeah.
right? And then up front,
Son and Kane.
We got
Son and Kane
we had Martinelli.
and Saka. No Martinelli, no, he's not in there. Son, Kane and Saka. That's a pretty strong team. What do you guys think? Listen, I want to thank you guys. I ain't going to wish you good luck for Thursday, but thank you.
Don't need it.
Toby, Henry, also Fuad, Julian.
Stop.
Stricto.
This is like touching. This is like touching the trophy. This is like touching the trophy.
By the way, but just
Please
before we go, let's get some predictions, right? Julian,
predictions for Thursday night.
yeah.
I don't see Arsenal losing. That's my
All
only
right, let's give
prediction.
it. No offence, prediction, scoreline.
Okay.
With your chest.
With what?
Say it with your chest. What
Oh,
you do,
my
I mean,
chest.
you're sitting on the fence right
All
now.
right, I
Facts.
think that 2-1 to Arsenal.
Toby,
2-1 to Spurs.
Stricto.
2-2.
After you singing all that Champions
honestly.
League,
Yeah.
Wait, do we have to win on Thursday? You don't, but that's the answer. That's the answer. We don't have to win. We don't have to win on Thursday.
No belief.
We don't have to win on Thursday.
Don't believe.
Henry.
3-1
To who?
to Spurs, obviously.
We don't know.
2 from Son, 1 from Kane, and a Saka goal for
James.
Arsenal.
1-1.
2-0.
2-0.
Nil.
Nil.
Your lack of talent up front ain't
Alright.
really enough.
Nil.
1-0
Fuck
to
with it.
Arsenal. That's my one. Right. What do you guys think? Listen, thank you very much to these guys. Don't forget, massive game on Thursday. We've got a big watch along going on to it. We're going to be at the game as well. These guys, of course, will be at the game as well. It's a huge, huge game. Biggest North London derby I can remember in a decade. You know what I mean? There's so much on it. The winner is in the driving seat to get the top 4. So it's an absolutely massive game. So make sure you check it out. Also, don't forget to check out these guys' channels. Tell them where they can find you.
Fuad Kadani on all platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, Henry Wright TV, all platforms. Indices Henry Wright 365, and yeah, that's where you can find me.
Tapping Tobs on all platforms as well. So yeah, just check me out.
Okay, so make sure you check them out. How strict are they find you?
You always overlook me though, Robbie.
No, you got to look after it.
Nah, man.
You got to look after
You
the
gotta
guests
look after the
first.
whole
Even though when I go down there on Thursday, I'll walk past them and they're carrying like they don't know me. Yeah, you know what I mean? I know
You're gonna be there after the game. Are you gonna see?
Yeah, but
I'll come check you, bro.
yeah. I'm sure you will.
I will. I'll come check you.
Listen, YouTube, Stricto Strict. Insta, BH_Stricto. You find me on there.
All right, listen, thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe here to AFTV, like this video, and it's all about Thursday. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.